Chapter 4. A Confused Church. The Bible is given as a whole story, not a book from which to pluck out favorite verses that we believe to be more important to God. We all know this, and yet we have divided into more than 12 major Christian denominations, all claiming to have taken the one truth from the same book. Consider that the greatest cause of confusion in the church is who will be forgiven. Most churches believe and teach that those who sincerely confess Jesus as Savior will all go to heaven, and that what we do has little or no bearing on this outcome, because we have all fallen short of God's expectations. We believe then that everyone who does not accept Jesus will spend eternity in hell. This is not what the Bible teaches. Some churches teach that all who God birthed onto this earth have an equal chance to know who Jesus is and confess him as their personal Savior, because God would never birth anyone on earth who would not have that chance. Others read the many scriptures that unmistakably teach us that God reveals himself to some and not others. They teach that this is God's right, or that God knows in advance who will believe. The exclusive focus of confessing Jesus as Savior as the only way to his forgiveness is not biblical. This is not what Jesus or the Bible writers taught. Jesus plainly taught that God gives some people great faith and others little to no spiritual enlightenment. He warned us numerous times not to judge, but somehow we think we can or that we must. Who among us knows what measure of faith God has entrusted to or imparted to each of us? Who among us can judge a person as being blessed with a great measure of faith while failing to do very little with it? Who among us can inform a person with limited to no faith, but nothing but love in their hearts and caring for their neighbors as themselves, that they are doomed to hell? Can you and I judge a person's heart? You may know Jesus, but does Jesus see your inclination to love, forgive, and place the needs of others ahead of your own as he did? If we would focus our effort on teaching people to love one another as we love ourselves, to forgive as we hope to be forgiven, to care for others as we hope to have our eternal needs met, and teach people that we cannot claim his name and be saved, but that we must live as he asked, then his 3-year ministry will not have been in vain.